Welcome back to Utopia Cafe. It's great to share this energy and this space with you. Today, we are exploring the fact that at the moment there is a lot going on, and some of it's quite familiar and not in a good way. So, the themes that I'm exploring in this video are there is an old wound, an old feeling of rejection, an old feeling of hurt that is resurfacing and coming up, might be in a new way, but I can feel those old familiar feelings popping up. And this is what this reading is going to be about. There's going to be 3 messages. I've already shuffled the cards, and I thought there's 2. Remember these cards having nice messages in them as well. So I don't use these ones very often, but they came to mind, so I'd like to use them as well. The intention of this reading is to do the heavy lifting emotionally and in my thinking to get me to where I want to go. And where I want to go is in a healed version of myself. And where I'm coming from with that, where this message is coming from with that is that these feelings of hurt and rejection are coming, first of all, because I still have a long lingering expectation of the way things should be, and I need to let go of it. I know that much, and this is going to be another way of practicing that. And second of all, being a healed version of myself sometimes is the best way that I can love somebody, especially when they are unreachable. So if that resonates with you, it seems like what I'm describing is quite obscure, but if it resonates with you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's fine too. There'll be 3 messages. I'm starting from here and going across. As I said, they're already shuffled. From time to time, you might hear a drink because I need to hydrate. And this reading is going to be imperfect because I've also noticed that everything is becoming so polished with AI, which is great, but also for my own sake, embracing my authenticity and imperfection is the better way to go. And I believe striving for perfection does not lead to happiness, and I'd rather strive for magnificence. It does not have to be perfect to be magnificent. Anyway, moving on to the readings. 3 messages for the highest good when dealing, when processing, when transmuting the energy around these old feelings that are coming up again, around these old wounds that have been there since I can remember. And maybe that resonates with you too. It's funny, I just looked at my smoky quartz, and the way that the light is hitting it is showing, for the first time in my life, there is a bit of clarity in it. So isn't that interesting that as soon as I start setting my intention for the first time, and I've had this smoky quartz for years, I can see the sun shining through the cloudy quartz. This is my quartz. I'll move it out of the sunlight. You won't get to see it as well. But this is my quartz, and for the first time, the light is shining through it. So that's a lovely little bit of frequency alignment there. Moving on. The first card, the first message is deep knowing, and for me, it is upside down. So it's like this, deep knowing. Deep knowing in protection. So this is a heads up. I think this is a time to not, it's a time to be in the feelings, stop the thinking. There's nothing in the new, there's nothing, there's no thing new in here. The feelings may be familiar, but those stories will come back. That thinking will come back, that narrative will come back. Just as fresh as a daisy, if we choose to indulge them. And the message here is there's nothing new. It's the same gallery of memories as it's always been. There's nothing new. There's no wisdom there. There's no wisdom to be found there. It is advisable. The option is there to just focus on the fact that, yes, acknowledge the feeling. The feeling's there, but not look for evidence of it. The feeling's there, but the evidence doesn't matter, because the importance is not placed outside of ourselves. The importance is within. Within is important. That is the priority now. Not doing something externally so that something else will behave differently. The only thing we have control over is ourselves. So there's nothing in the narrative to gain. There's nothing to gain in looking for evidence of it. You'll find plenty if you want to look for it, but it keeps us stuck. It keeps us from being grounded. And we know our grounding practices. The card is empath offering. So here, this is empath offering. This is the image here. So for me, the message that's coming through for that one is very much if you were to have somebody outside of yourself feeling those feelings, you would give them space to feel that way and acknowledge and listen and hear their feelings. And the suggestion is to do the same thing for your inner child. Your inner child is feeling those feelings and is speaking up. And while it is important, the first time around, that inner child was never listened to, and it was never, they were never heard, and their needs were never met. But now this inner child is with you as the adult, and you get to listen. And the offering here is to let that feeling state, acknowledge it in a way that you're holding that inner child and that feeling, and be empathetic towards that child. So that feeling of rejection and pain and loss and abandonment and disappointment is there, and it shouldn't. And yeah, that's a normal feeling to have in that situation. For me, talking to my inner child can be as simple as saying, yeah, that's a normal feeling to have. Yeah, absolutely. No, that wasn't anything to do with you. That was them doing the best that they could, and it not being what you needed at the time. And the great thing is that you survived it with the skills that you had, and you have more skills now. So that is the acknowledging. That could be one way of acknowledging those feelings. The second message is serendipity. So this is in serendipity. So this is something else to watch out for. So I'll show you that. It is in protection. So I'll put this in protection. There we go. Serendipity. This is telling us that be careful not to. This is coming up again for healing. This is coming up again for you to nurture the earlier version of yourself that didn't get heard at that time, and you get to hear and nurture and be kind to that self version of yourself from earlier. And it's saying, this is not a sign. This is not a sign. The events and the experiences that you're having is not a sign that you have done anything wrong. This is a sign that the universe loves you and wants you to be released of things that are holding you back. And this is saying, hey, I wanted to point out this so that you can heal it, and so it doesn't hold you back, because that which you don't know is there just festers and grows and continues to impact your life. And the universe wants you to be free and to feel happiness and to be healed. And it's saying, this is not a sign of anything that you have done or anything that is wrong or anything that you were deserving of. This is just saying, there's a bit of cobweb and dust in this corner here. Just give it a wipe over and freshen that area, because it's old and stagnant and stale, and it doesn't need to be there anymore. And this room that you live in, this space, this emotional space, this spiritual space that you live in, doesn't need that dust in there anymore, because it is the ashes of old that, and you are free to rise if you want to. The second card is, here we go, water of shadow cast about. These feelings can feel overwhelming and threatening and scary. And sometimes, no matter how long this time is, it doesn't matter. It could be longer, it could be shorter. But the emotional waves and the grief can be disorientating, and you don't know where the gravity pull is, and you don't know where the ground is, and you don't know what it is. And sometimes all that's left to do is to hold on to whatever it is that you know has worked for you before in this new version of yourself, not in the old version, because that hasn't worked. That has helped you survive. But now, revisiting these feelings is the opportunity to thrive and to be healed. And healing is not without its pain and not without its fear. And that is a normal part of healing. And this card is saying, for the greatest good, just hold on to that. Close your eyes, wrap your arms around it, and keep yourself narrowly focused on that one element that keeps you okay. One example is, through the turbulence of it all, through the fears, through the overthinking mind looking for evidence, through the desire to survive this and go back to old habits, hold on to the knowledge that you are brave enough, the knowledge that you can create new thinking pathways. The new thinking pathway could be as tiny as a goat track next to the 5-lane highway that is the old thinking. It still doesn't make it any less of a new pathway. And take your focus away from that well-trodden highway and put it firmly on that new pathway. And sooner or later, it will become the new way of thinking, the well-traveled path itself. And you have been here before, and it's just time to tune back into it and know that you're still on it. It is not as flashy, and it's not as smooth, and it's not as popular as what the other one is, but that's not the one we want to be on anymore. This new thinking pathway is the one that we want to be on. It doesn't help us to think negatively. It doesn't help us to let the negative mind take the steering wheel, because it doesn't keep us safe. And and protecting us from surprise, even if it's negative surprise, is by being able to imagine 1,000,001 different negative scenarios doesn't help either. And I know that's quite, I don't know whether that's random or specific, that's what's coming through. So as I said before, I hope this helps. But if it doesn't, maybe this is, take the bits that resonate with you. But hold on to that thinking that gets you through, no matter how turbulent the feelings are and how disorientating it is and how confusing it is. Hold on to, as an example, I'm choosing to be happy. I am choosing to be healed. I am choosing joy, and I will find joy wherever joy will be found. The third message is yang. So this is the card here. And it was in reverse, which is great because that means just pay attention to. So yang is an outward force, is an action force. It's a burst of creativity. It's a doing something. And it's saying you don't need to do anything. There's nothing that needs to be done. It's just feeling. It's just holding on. It's just riding the waves. It's just, if that's what doing is, it's just focusing on those new little peaceful elements of wisdom that sit inside you now. And the universe loves you so much at the moment that you get to practice these new skills that you have. And they're not as loud and shiny and sparkly, but they're yours and they're warm, and you can hold them within you. And your little self can warm themselves from the harshness and the cold of the outside. And that's all you need. And that's all it needs to be. And it doesn't matter the noise. It's just like a thunderstorm. The thunder may be loud and the lightning may be flashing, but you are safe within these new skills that you have. And it's just new and small and not as flashy. And nothing needs to be done. You have the wisdom, and you have the warmth, and you also even get to focus on that little spark of joy in amongst it all. There's joy in there, and it's okay to focus on it. You're not bad if you do. You're not doing anything to be ashamed of if you do focus on the joy, whatever it brings you, because the joy is the best way to love yourself and to love everybody around you. So hold on to that joy, no matter how the video strangely cut out, and that's okay. But the last thing I was saying was hold on to that joy with that last message, because you can put all that thinking down, all that action down, and just rest in the fact that you have opposed thinking, and that's okay. And it doesn't stop you from focusing on your joy. And that's it, really. So they're the three messages that came through. Overall, I'm understanding that it's not necessarily easy. There is work to be done in getting thinking away from what could have been or what should have been or what was right or what was wrong, and letting that go and rest and moving it towards focusing on the joy of now, and choosing not to be burdened by the pain, burdened by the stories again. Those stories, I don't want to read that story anymore. I want to look for the new stories that entail the joy that is gently seeded and growing within. So I hope that helps or it resonates. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing, and let me know what you would like, if you would like any particular theme or any particular topic. Please let me know. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.